Generation Physical Therapy has been the Tri-State's leader in physical therapy services for over 20 years. And now we have a convenient location right in the heart of the capital city of Charleston, just off I-64. With convenient parking and flexible hours, your access to physical therapy is second to none. Plus, Snap Fitness is also in sight with 2 floors of gym equipment and sports enhancement training through A-Game Sports Performance. So whether you're needing hands-on physical therapy or looking to get results in our gym, our family's ready to help yours. Generations Physical Therapy and Snap Fitness. Multiple services, multiple locations. Experience you can count on.
Connecting your brain and body with interactive games and tests. Why is there no physical activity in today's health physical? Trazer is an holistic technology used to rehabilitate, prevent falls, and improve sport performance. Trazer reports provide you, your clinician, your physical therapist, or athletic trainer objective data to make decisions on your health and performance over time. Measure what matters to change your game. Take the Trazer Challenge. Confidence, growth, connected by Trazer.
At Fusion Sport, we're all about driving human performance. We develop and support a range of technologies all designed to assist people to be their best. Smartabase is used by hundreds of elite sporting organisations across the globe, and more recently has been used by the military and performing arts as well.
Our Smartabase technology has at the heart of it an integrated and connected philosophy. What's different about Smartabase is that it's truly flexible and self-engineerable. That really puts the power into our customers' hands, and it allows them to use it in unique ways that perhaps we haven't even thought of.
Between ourselves and the rest of the field, but here comes Jemmy Stone.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Sports Arena. I'm Megan Price. Tonight we're going to be talking about the NBA Finals. On the screen we got Michael Cartenuto cheering for Italy apparently. We got John Shear from the Cartier King.
How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
Good. I'm excited about the WNBA. They got a lot going on. It's their All-Star game, right?
Absolutely. I will be at the festivities on Wednesday. I'm super excited. Hopefully I get to talk to somebody. I'm really, really hoping.
Oh, I'm sure you will. You're doing awesome.
Thanks, John. All right, guys. We also have Alex Fleming in the building.
How you doing, Megan?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
Just getting off of work. That's why you see an Eric's face and not mine.
Right.
I was going to say, that's the best Alex has looked all week.
Well, you know what I got on, right? I know we're talking NBA Finals. We're halfway through with it, but I just wanted to remind y'all what was around the corner. Dak is back.
Absolutely. And I'm celebrating. I'm still celebrating the Euro Cup championship, the second. It was a good weekend for that. Argentina beat Brazil on Saturday. Italy, of course, beat England, which again, giving up a goal in the second minute almost made me want to vomit because I don't think I've seen that in my lifetime watching an Italian game. But either way, it was beautiful, beautiful ending.
I really liked it, but then I'm a Tottenham fan, and so our main player announced that he wants to be traded after the Euro
Harry
tournament
Kane.
was over.
He's gone. Yeah, he's
he's
gonna go
gone.
get more money somewhere else.
Well, we pay him like 130 million, so I think we could probably get him at least 2 to 3. I'm not superstars, but stars up and coming. Hopefully.
Oh, they'll be all right. Still, it's tough to lose them, but I mean. I just celebrate yesterday's win. That'll take care of. And some of these guys are going straight to the Olympics, Megan. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, not all of them. There's a few. I know. I think Spain. Well, Spain's midfielder. I know. Was it Roder? He's only 18. He was headed to the Olympics.
Right.
And then I think the Dutch had a player, and I don't know if the kid, the last kid that took the penalty kick for England is going, but there's quite a few guys like headed to the Olympics. And then when they get back from that, if they go to the medal round, I didn't win a gold medal, but if they're in the medal round, they'll have about, I think they said like 15 days off before they start their club season.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Premier League is about 1 month away.
Well, right. But I'm saying all Europe, like Italy,
right.
Germany, England. Yeah. I mean, but they'll have, if you go to the gold medal game. But, I mean, we're going to talk NBA, guys. And, I mean, same thing if these guys go to I mean, I know everybody's freaking out about a scrimmage against Nigeria. I get it. It's a loss, but it doesn't – you just need to get things right now. So, but, yeah, I mean, even guys with the NBA, I mean, they'll have what, about maybe so they'll have about 7.5 weeks off, 7 weeks off, 8 weeks off, maybe 2 months. Not even 2 months. Yeah, like 6 weeks off.
Oh, well, they just actually lost another exhibition game to Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Dame had 22 points, but the final score was 91-83. So, I mean, do y'all have any concerns for the Team USA, or are y'all not worried because it's an exhibition game?
I think John and I actually agree for once. We both shook our heads no, because it's like it's like back in the day. See, I'll pick on a team that's none of our favorites. Like when the Lions would go undefeated in preseason, and people in Detroit were all stoked, or somebody goes undefeated in preseason. I mean, yeah, you'd like to see your guys that you drafted and young players like be good enough to win, but then they go undefeated in preseason, and they lose like 7 or 8. They lose their like 6 out of the first 7 games or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
but these aren't third and fourth string.
I get it, but
these are the best in the world.
But with Popovich as the coach, I think it's about working on things and not saying be too cute. I mean, yes, you do want to feel victory, but I mean, I don't know if you agree, John, but I say it's more about getting them used to playing together in a system and what he wants them to do. And also, just like in football preseason, not showing too much.
Right.
True. Still got to be concerning.
We got Ruth Truth on the screen, guys.
Hello. How's everyone doing this evening?
Welcome.
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I did something I haven't done probably it's been a couple months. I would say probably around like Super Bowl time. I day drank, guys.
Oh, I thought you were going to say celebrate.
I
thought you were going to say celebrate a championship.
Well, yeah, of course, but
we got a week one
something I haven't done
here
in a while, and I guess my age is definitely starting to catch up to me because by 6 o'clock I was ready for a nap. And
well,
but I'm here with you guys this evening, and I'm excited. What's up, Mike? How you doing?
If you day drink, it's a marathon, not a sprint. You probably treat it as a sprint in the beginning, and then by 6 o'clock you're falling asleep, like you're ready to go to bed. Yeah, it's a marathon.
But it was a lot of fun. I went to the Lightning boat parade today, which was super eventful. The players were really interactive with the audience, with the crowd, and it was just phenomenal. And
did you get to see the Stanley Cup? Did you hold a Stanley Cup?
No, I didn't get to see the Stanley Cup, which I was a little. I mean, I saw it on the boat, but just not up close in person. But
I have held the Stanley Cup. I have a picture with
you
Marty.
Bastard.
Yeah,
you bastard. I hate you so much.
I thought I told you that. I thought you knew this one.
I hate you.
Oh, maybe it was Eric. I think Eric knows that. No, when the Devils swept the Wings in '95, I went back to Jersey for it, and And yeah, I got a picture with Marty Brodeur and Scott Stevens, and I mean
That's
a
some
bunch
good
of all the other
company.
players were around. Yeah, I mean, but we got me and my cousins, and then there's like me like holding the Stanley Cup, and then they're like, "You want to put it above here?" I was like, "I didn't win it, but hell yeah!" So I got to hold the Stanley Cup. It was awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw the pictures that's gone viral about the damage that has been done to the Stanley Cup. I don't know how true that is, because when I saw it at the I guess the little ceremony that they have before we got rained out, like it looked like it was in perfect condition, but then I saw
they add a layer to it. They add a layer to it every
It's
year.
always in perfect condition.
Right, but here's the thing. So like it has all the champions names, but the bottom is the most recent team.
Yeah.
Like from last year, but then when they make a new one for next year, it bumps off. So like I think from what I've been told, if you go to the hockey museum, there's like not replicas, there's like Stanley
Different
Cups with
ones.
everybody's names on it. But yeah, it's a new cup every year because you have to etch all the players' names, get their name on the cup. So
It's the only trophy that has that. It's the only trophy.
Yeah. It's really exciting to have the Stanley Cup stay in Tampa, and I wonder if that's any incentive for Tom Brady to be like, oh well, if the Lightning went back to back, then I guess I got to go back to back.
Now, were they 17? Did they have 17 million more people at the parade than they should have, or is that just how the cap works with the Lightning? 17 million over.
There was a lot of people there. It was an
Someone sounds bitter.
But anybody who ever says that Tampa is
saying.
not a hockey town is lying up the wazoo.
Well, see, Ruth, I was saying that last week when we were talking about it, because we were talking about expansion, and I said hockey's a whole different beast as a sport. Because whatever city you put it in, people that grew up loving hockey, like hockey fans will show out anywhere. I mean, look, it works here in the desert. I mean, yes, we all talked about bandwagon and when the Coyotes are winning, but even when they first got here, when they came down in '96, I'd say easily. And granted, I mean, they did have decent players. Yes, they always got bounced in the first round of the playoffs, but the whiteout, hockey fans will show up anywhere. So anywhere, technically, to me, is a hockey town because there's enough fans that'll do it. But yeah, that's all right. The Cup's leaving there next year, so enjoy it now. But the Cup's coming back to Jersey. That's all I know.
All right,
that's all I know, baby.
That's a bold statement.
They suck
have to bring this,
it is a bold
this
statement.
conversation back this time next year. We'll see how that goes. All right, so are you guys ready to discuss Game 3? You guys want to jump into some NBA conversation with me? Is that cool with you? Do we have Alex in the building? Is he joining us just audio, or is he working right now?
Well, no, I just stepped foot in the bar. You're gonna see my ugly face in a minute, but yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Is that Alex or is that Eric? I can't tell.
I know it's like that's what's confusing me. Because I see Eric's face.
It's Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh no.
No,
All right. So let's start this NBA conversation. Good evening, everyone. Hi to everybody. If I didn't say hi to you, it's great to be back here on the Sports Arena. We're gonna get into some NBA conversation because Game 3 went down Sunday night, which was last night. So tonight we get a little bit of a break. We don't really have any sports going on this evening, so I hope that you are joining us here on the Sports Arena. But let's talk about our expectations going into Game 4. Megan, I want to start with you. Giannis Antetokounmpo had back-to-back 40-point games. Mm-hmm. Megan, in your perspective, do you think Giannis has what it takes to take the Bucks all the way?
I think he does, but I don't think his supporting cast quite does. And when I say supporting cast, I've been pretty critical of the coach, and I'm still there. It was a great win last night, but I don't put it on because of the coaching. I think I put it on the rest of the players not wanting to lose, and randomly Phoenix had a rough game. It kind of reminded me of Game 5 against the Clippers. The Clippers were able to come out, and I think Phoenix is they're tired. I mean, they're really far into the season now, and Booker had a really lackluster performance. CP3 semi-average, but Ayton, who had 18 points and 9 rebounds, had 16 of those points in the first half. So the second half, they completely shut him down. I do expect the Bucks to be able to pull out another game, and I think it's going to be this next game, Game 4. It's going to be much closer than this past game, but I can't see Milwaukee winning in Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about that point deficit, I mean, at one point, the Bucks were up almost 30 points on the Suns. So, John, I want to take it to you. Do you think the Suns have anything to worry about after the performance that they had on Game 3.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Booker hasn't been shooting the ball like at the most efficient clip in the series. So as I said, when they go as Booker goes, if he's too high, it's great for them energy wise, but if he gets low, then the team goes as he does. And that's my concern. It's been my concern with them the whole time. But to answer your question about Giannis, it's not even about can Giannis do it, because one man's not going to do it. It has to be, like Megan said, the supporting cast. And as Mike said, I believe last week, they play better at home. The role players play better at home whenever they're at home. So we were expecting the Bucks to come out and the role players to play better. They played relatively better than they have. I mean, it's hard not to play better than, those first 2 games, but it's not up to Giannis. It's up to the role players. And if they step up, if Middleton steps up, and if Drew Holiday steps up, and if Lopez steps up, they're going to beat the Suns. But if those guys don't step up, that's a done deal, and it's already over.
Right. So, Mike, do you think Giannis has what it takes to carry the team to beat somebody like Phoenix?
Well, no one player is going to carry any team. I mean, look, back in the day, Michael Jordan tried it, didn't work. Look, he is talented, and I said it from the beginning. He's going to get his, and I know that we talked about last week, and John and Alex have pointed out how he was scoring how he averaged like 34 against Ayton. Well, that's since Ayton's been a rookie, and Ayton's rookie year, people destroyed him, so I get it. That being said, it does come down to the role players. I mean, he's going to get his. Here's the one gripe I'm going to get off. I know I said it in the beginning when we started talking NBA playoffs, is that if it's a foul in the regular season, it should be a foul in the playoffs. Giannis says moving screens every single time. And it's not ticky-tack. I'm not calling like NFL ticky-tack holding. They are moving screens every single time the whistle doesn't blow. Ayton barely moves yesterday, and it was moving, but compared to what Giannis is doing, not even close. So he's getting into foul trouble. So Megan with the points, I mean, you're right. I mean, he 5 fouls, and Monty sat him down. He had to. I will say this, though. Him sitting Booker, making Booker watch that pain, I think speaks volumes of what it can do for a player. I know a lot of people here were saying they should have sat Chris Paul, give him the rest of that time. But Jay Crowder, like I said, he had a crap game 1, did not hit 1 shot. He was 6 for 7 from the 3-point line. Cam Johnson was going nuts when they cut the lead to 6. When they cut the
in the third
and
quarter,
they were right there. Yeah, they were right there. So this is my whole point to them being deeper. Look, the Nets, the Bucks made their adjustments, and Brook Lopez started stepping up higher on the pick and roll, so they couldn't start running downhill. Monty will adjust to that. To me, it's just, if you're going to call things, call it both ways. I'm all for letting players play in saying that. But, I mean, there was 2 fouls on Giannis. Like, I want to know where the foul was. It's like somebody sneezed, and you see granted, I get it's a slow-mo replay, and slow-mo replays, as you guys know, I feel have ruined sports forever. But that being said, nobody touched Giannis, and the whistle just blows. Like, that's the part I hate about the NBA playoffs, and I've always despised about it. But at the same time, if you're Giannis, yes, you can put up those points and you can get your teammates involved. But I'm with everybody else. I like Middleton. I like Holiday. They're not doing it for another game. I think the Suns, who had a 3-point lead at the end of the first quarter, so Milwaukee's all hyped up first home game, and the Suns lead after the first quarter. Granted, there's 3 more left, but it just seemed, even when the Suns were making the run, that Milwaukee was reactionary to everything. And then Ayton gets in foul trouble. Okay, that's on him. You got to be smarter. If you see how they're calling it, you got to. We all talk about adjusting. But to me, Chris Paul and Devin Booker, I mean, Devin Booker is going to be the key. And again, he's not forcing his shots either. Because to Megan's point, it was an abysmal performance by Booker. But he was 8 for 21 in the first game, in game 1. In game 2, a completely different story. Absolutely was in rhythm. You're at home. I get it. But I think that was the one huge game you're going to get from both Middleton and Holiday, because one of them will have a big game. I just don't think the other one will. I'm with John on that. I think one of them probably will have another solid game 4, but the other one won't. I mean, right. And if you look how the Suns close down the 3-point line, except to everybody but Giannis, the Suns closing down the 3-point line, they're a lot better at it than Milwaukee. That's one thing I will say. But again, you have to perform. You have to get over the refs. You're on the road, but there's no way the Suns come out and have a stretch like that. Because I mean, under Monty Williams, there hasn't been too many stretches like that. Because this team started the season, way back in November, 8-8.
Right.
And then they went on that run. So again, hats off to Milwaukee. The other guys stepped up. Let me see him do it for 2 games in a row because they haven't done it all playoff long.
Right. So I got to bring Mr. Fleming into this conversation because he just looks like he's dying to get something off his chest. So, Alex, with Giannis having back-to-back 40-point games, is he going to be enough to take the Bucks to the next level, which is an NBA championship?
They don't have a choice. They got to run on Giannis and what he's doing down in the paint. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith and the Max Kellerman for using my term of bullet ball today on the show. To Michael's point, I want to point out some things and tear what he said apart. Do you notice how many points that the Bucks had in the paint in Game 3? Just take a wild guess. Just take a guess, Mike. Take a guess.
Well, they had a ton. They had a ton, and they also got every foul call. Did they not get every foul call?
Mike, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Did they not get every foul call though?
Crowded Chris Paul. If you take away the facilitator, this team doesn't look that good. And to what Megan said, DeAndre Ayton had 18 points, 9 rebounds. Bro, he was like 6 of 8 in the first half, had 16 of those points by the second quarter. They shut him down. He had to play passive. Why? Because they were hitting them down low in the paint. You can't be aggressive if you got 4 or 5 foul calls against you. Oh, and you notice something else? Middleton and, of course, Mr. Holiday played better at home, which leads to a problem down the road. If this is a home series, Suns have the home advantage. So if this goes 7, of course the Suns are going to go. But I love the fact that they have no answer for Giannis. I said that before the finals. I said that when they were playing the Hawks, Giannis is the difference maker. You know the only other person who averaged 40 points and 10 rebounds in consecutive games? Shaquille O'Neal. What do we know about Shaq? He's dominant. Nobody could stop him. And to Michael's credit, yeah, there were some suspect calls, but you're at home. Suns got a couple of suspect calls at home. Not as many as Milwaukee did last night, but Suns got some home cooking too. That's why you go on the road. It's all good. And Budenholzer, to Megan's point, again, didn't make too much adjustment. They just did the exact same thing, but with better intensity. I expect Milwaukee to win Game 4 and this series to go back to a pivotal Game 5. Because you know what I believe? The winner of Game 5 wins the series. Other than that, I'm done.
Hey, by the way, real quick, Jeff Van Gundy said yesterday he must have been watching our show because Jeff Van Gundy in the broadcast, if you guys were listening, said anybody that's saying Mike Budenholzer should be fired obviously doesn't know the game of basketball. Look, I know Van Gundy coach. I know he didn't win a title, but he was just saying things Budenholzer done. And look, to Alex's point, they didn't do this. Lopez and everybody else, they were stepping up a lot higher on the pick and roll. They weren't letting them come downhill. And the only adjustment to make on Giannis is if you lay off him, I get it. You let him get ahead of steam. But defensively, Ruth, my last point is defensively, I'd rather have Ayton up on him. Forget him shooting a 3 and missing it because he's going to miss most of them. I'd rather have him up on him and then send the double team right away to get the ball out of his hands because you can do that. And the way they rotate, that would be my adjustment because if you don't want Chris Paul to get ahead of steam or Devin Booker, why are you letting, to Alex's point, a 6'10" dude that's yoked and that can literally go from the free throw line to that little circle in one step? Like, I mean, pick him up top and force him to dribble, force him at you. Don't foul him, but double team him and get the ball out of his hands.
Easier said than done when it's
I get that. Exactly. The aggression that we see Antetokounmpo perform on the basketball court, it's hard to defend.
But if you get him, if you do it right away, John, that's the thing. It's like with the pick and roll. When the Clippers, to Megan's point, when the Clippers in Game 5, they started picking up. I mean, Beverly's always in the face, and again, they're letting them push because either way, I mean, we were taught like if a guy's setting a screen on you, like if I'm setting a screen on you and you sit there and extend your arm and push me or like shoulder me like Beverly was doing, you're going to get usually called for a foul. I know they let it go in the playoffs. It's fine. Let them play. But the Clippers did that in Game 5 and they pushed everything up top. And I think the Bucks took a page from that finally because everything downhill in Game 1 and 2 obviously wasn't working. But that's how I related to Giannis lastly is that if you sit there and you take him, you pick up the dribble. Then if he starts to go to whatever way he goes first, you send the double team over, get the ball out of his hands. And again, then we'll see. Will Middleton, if Middleton and Holiday hit shots and beat you, then you have to readjust again. But I want to see it 2 games in a row, like I said, from those two.
Right, absolutely.
And I'm going to say to Van Gundy, Budenholzer needs to join him without a team.
Oh, here we go. I knew it was coming.
So, I mean, now that we're on this Stephen Gundy topic, since Mike brought it up, let's talk about the Orlando Magic. They just made a new hire for head coach. Megan, I'll bring it to you. What do you think this new coach, what he needs to aspire to do to help the Orlando Magic rebuild? Because, I mean, they were 21-51 last season.
I think he's a decent coach. Actually, what I wanted to talk about in this was the other assistant coach from the Wizards him and Jamal Mosley were the front runners. Obviously, they gave the deal to Mosley, and he's a former Mavs assistant. I'm not understanding why Becky didn't have another interview with them. She didn't even have a second interview with them. The only team she had a second interview with was Portland, and I really feel like they just kind of gave her those interviews to kind of fill the void of needing to give women a chance, but then they're not really giving her a chance because they only gave her a second interview. I feel like Becky is super qualified. I know Orlando's going to be a tough job. They had a really rough year. They blew up the entire franchise, and I don't know if she would even want to take that job because with all the type of pressure that's going to come on her being the first female head coach coming into the league, do you want to take on a franchise that is struggling? But I think she's extremely qualified. Anybody that is Pop's protege should be considered, at least more, anybody, male or female, race, whatever. You should be considered for a second interview by this point in your career, by the amount of interviews that you've already been taken. So Orlando's going to be a rough job.
That's where I'll stop you with that. She may not have been what they were looking for. They may have interviewed her, got one in, and said, she's not quite what we want. We can't necessarily go out and say, well, because she's a woman, that's why she didn't get a second.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, why hasn't she been given more opportunities? She has the credentials.
She might not be. She may not interview well. I don't know. She may not fit what these teams are looking for. I don't know. I mean, she's obviously very talented. She should get a job eventually, but she may just have interviewed for jobs that those teams didn't find what they were looking for. I mean, I can't speculate. I don't think it's fair to speculate and say, because she's a woman, she didn't get.
I'm not saying because she's a woman. I'm just saying why. That's what I want to know. The answer is why.
John, why she can't say that? If she was saying that, why she can't say that?
Because why speculate? She just might not have been what they're looking for.
Do y'all really even know who these two assistant coaches are? The one that got the job?
I don't. I'm going to be real. I don't.
I don't know them.
But these people run NBA teams.
But we know about Becky Hammond.
I don't know who neither one of them are.
We think we know, but we don't. We're not inside these organizations. We're not around her every day. We don't know exactly what she's good at, what she's not good at when it comes to coaching. So for us to speculate,
I don't know, man. Never mind. I mean, I feel a way about it to a certain extent, but I'm gonna keep it to myself.
No,
because I feel like this is how I feel. I feel like, I'm gonna say this. Somebody, y'all can take it however y'all want to take it. I feel like the woman is taking the place of all these black coaches we've been talking about. Anytime they go to an interview, people always say, anytime they go to an interview and they didn't get the job, they always say they didn't interview well. Like, I don't like. And maybe it's because sometimes I just don't know what the heck they're looking for in these interviews. Like, I don't know how you could, other than probably say something crazy, I really don't know how you could kind of interview bad. I interview people used to interview people for a living at one point. So, I get it. You got people that come in there talking crazy. I get that part, but I don't know. Do I think that Jamal Mosley is a better fit than Becky Hammond? I don't think so personally. I barely even know who Jamal Mosley is personally. Yeah. And on top of that, but I will say this, if I was Becky, I wouldn't want that Orlando job. I know Alex and them cover Orlando, but they're not going to be good for a very long time, in my opinion.
Right.
That's what I was going to say. I was just going to say that, like, maybe she didn't want the job. Again, I don't think you're going to tank an interview. To all three of your points so far, like, you're not going to go into an interview and like want to tank it. I mean, if a team's bringing you in, obviously they've done their due diligence and stuff like that. But I just feel that, I mean, again, like Ty, like, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, maybe again, if a coach doesn't want the job, if they didn't reach out a second interview, and to John's point too, maybe again, that's not what they're looking for. But I mean, hey, if your boy Budenholzer gets fired, that's a Pop protege. He'll have another job right away.
I mean, I've interviewed at radio stations, and I thought I'd killed the interview, and then I get a call back just saying you're not what we were looking for. Like, it happens. I mean, I thought I killed the interview, and I guess I didn't. I don't know. I mean,
sometimes with that though, you know, it's politics. Because I've went to interviews before, and because I'm not want to get too much to myself. I've been to interviews before, and I know I'm a great manager. Like, that's what I do. That's what I've done for 15 years. But like sometimes but since I have so much experience, I demand a certain salary. So
right.
Some jobs will look at you and say, "Well, I'm gonna pay this guy." I'm just going for the sake of argument. Well, I'm gonna pay this guy $75,000 when I could take the person fresh off the tree that's gonna do things everywhere. I say they might not be as good as this guy, but I could pay them $45,000. I could save $30,000. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, sometimes I get it. That's what it is, but.
Right. Well, we all know that after having another long season for the Orlando Magic, ending with a 21-win record, there's a lot to fix in Orlando, and maybe Becky is just not up for that big of a challenge. I mean, this would be her first time being a head coach, so maybe Orlando would not be a great spot. But we're going to get back to this conversation because I definitely want to hear Alex's perspective on what he thinks Orlando needs to do to switch things up going into next season. We'll be right back. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Sports Arena. We were getting into a really deep conversation about the Orlando Magic and their new coach that they have hired. Jamal Mosley will be the new head coach going into next season. Alex Fleming, I know that you've spent a lot of time covering the Orlando Magic, so I really want to know your perspective on this hire and what we should expect going into next season.
You're muted, Alex. You're muted. You're muted.
I'm going to keep it 1,000 with you. I'm not even going to try to lie. Whoever hires Becky Hammon, it's going to be an historic hire. But here's the problem. She's going to be the first female NBA coach, the first female who's going to be a leader of men. Yeah. Now, imagine if she's not successful, or better yet, let's imagine she is successful. She's going to set the tier for future female coaches in the NBA. Oh, and imagine if the players don't respond to her and it's a bad fit and they have to either get rid of her or fire her. Think of all the mud that could be slung if something were to go wrong. Now, I'm not saying that's the case because I believe Becky Hammon is a professional, but you're starting to see how Black coaches had issues getting jobs in the NFL and NBA. Now we're seeing it from a female perspective.
Speak on it.
In the NBA. Because it's nothing new. This is still the good old boy method. Now, These good old boys of the NBA are a hell of a lot better than the NFL good old boys, but they're still good old boys. Just because they extend their hand to a black male doesn't mean they're ready to extend their hand to a qualified female hand. Plus, I believe the Orlando Magic wanted to go a different route. I think Clifford lost the locker room once one of their players went down in Game 5 against the Philadelphia 76ers, and you saw how bad that offense was running. The Orlando Magic is the youngest team in the NBA right now. Look at the roster. They got rid of all of the age. Bro, Vucevic is gone. Gordon is in Denver where he's happy and he can get high and lifted. And they sent Fournier to Boston before he finds another landing spot. Orlando is the youngest team, so they need a coach that's going to be able to command that locker room and respect him. He was a Mavericks assistant coach for quite some time, and he's bounced around. He is well qualified. Now, is he as qualified as Miss Hammond? Probably not, but I guarantee you he's cheaper, and I have nothing but good expectations. I believe he's going to be able to get the job done.
Right. So, Mike, I want to bring it to you and talk a little bit about the Orlando Magic. What are some expectations going into next season for the Magic?
Well, yeah, I mean, Alex hit it on the head. I was going to say, I mean, obviously him and Eric know all those guys they traded and they got rid of. I mean, they are a young team. And, I mean, but Becky Hammond, I mean, she did win Summer League when she coached the Spurs Summer League team as a head coach. So, I mean, again, I think players in any sport, I mean, and this will sound like a joke to all of you, but it's really not. In any sport, if there's a coach who's qualified and you see that they understand the game and they're teaching you and they have the best interest and they can do it, like players will play. And I go all the way back to one of my most favorite movies of all time, Wildcats. Goldie Hawn was a women's football coach. Granted, it was high school. I know, but again, I mean, just like the people like, oh, you know, a woman coaching football. And granted, it was the early 80s. I get it, you know, whatever. But I mean, it's just the whole point of if you have somebody that loves the game. I mean, fast forward to, you know, remember the Titans. I mean, his little girl was like, I mean, granted, but I mean, based on a true story, I mean, his little girl was like that. I mean, it was all football. So I always said like this. I always talk to coaches on both sides, especially like when, you know, women could just coach women's basketball and men were just coaching men. And then, I mean, obviously then, you know, Gino Auriemma college-wise steps in at UConn and it's like, oh, well, so, and he's winning and people are like, well, because he's a man. And then you see somebody like Pat Summitt, Tara Vonderveer here out West. Like, if you know the game and you can coach, if players aren't going to listen, then cool. You're going to be out of the league soon enough because I guarantee you it'll get around. Maybe not to the public like us, or they're not going to say it in press conferences, but if you're uncoachable and you're a clown, you're not going to be playing. So, I mean, again, I don't know if she wanted it. Okay. Yes, she wants a head coaching job. I'm with on that. If it was the fit for her, I mean, maybe it wasn't a fit for her. So it's not even because it was a young team. I think a young team would actually benefit her because you come in with her, they see it, they know she wants to work. You have a young team.
That's true.
That angle I think could work, but maybe it doesn't work for Orlando. And I think, I don't know if it was Megan, you said it earlier or somebody, but I think Pop may have 1 or 2 years left. And I think Becky Hammond ends up being the head coach of the Spurs.
I predicted that too.
Okay. I'm not saying you didn't. I'm not saying you didn't.
Yeah.
I just think it's a deal. I think it's a deal with Pop and the Spurs. But again, I thought that, you know, again, and Chauncey Billups getting hired. I love Chauncey Billups. I mean, so I think that's a great hire for Portland. You know, could it have worked with her there? Absolutely. So, I mean, again, it's got to be the perfect fit. I just think that if Popovich, you know, he said he told LaMarcus Aldridge he would be there through his contract. Well, they traded LaMarcus Aldridge. He's coaching the Olympic team. Maybe he doesn't want distractions. I mean, maybe he steps down after the Olympics and she takes over.
He's 29. He's 29 wins away from the all-time wins record.
Oh, okay. So he coaches next year and then he's done. So, okay. So he coaches one more year. That's right. I thought it was more than that. Megan, I knew he was getting closer, but I just think they have a deal. And again, unless the perfect job came up for her, I mean, look, if they fired Budenholzer in Milwaukee, they should interview her because I guess, you know, they got to the finals and the coach gets fired. But if any of you are a coach and you get a team to the finals and you get fired, do you really want to go take that job?
I mean, what's the name took his team to the finals and got fired as well?
Who?
David Blatt.
Oh,
well,
But
LeBron
is
got,
it better for Milwaukee to win the finals and keep Budenholzer? Or is it better for the franchise to
took him to the
lose
finals and got
and get
fired.
rid of
He didn't
Budenholzer?
take him to the
That's
finals.
a little bit
LeBron
of a
took him to
story,
the
and you know that.
I mean, this is my thing with Budenholzer. I feel like he gets criticized the most because this is how I feel about him. I don't think he's a bad coach. I know Megan thinks he's not a good coach. I don't think he's a bad coach. He just doesn't make adjustments.
Right.
Like,
it's predictable.
He comes out there with his game plan. His game plan is what it is. It doesn't change throughout the game. You know, some coaches, like I think Ty
Mike
Lue,
McCarthy.
Yeah, some coaches during halftime they make adjustments. Okay, we need to do this. He doesn't do that. He just, this is what we're doing. It don't work. It don't work.
I heard that John trying to. He said,
But I
Mike
agree.
McCarthy
No, I
trying to
completely
throw
agree. It's
some Cowboy
predictable.
slander
He's
over
gonna
here.
throw the ball. He's not going to run the ball. It's predictable.
But I mean, I can't say a coach.
Do you guys know if they have hired a coach for New Orleans, or is that still vacant?
It's vacant.
Still vacant, I think.
Okay, so
Dang, it's
it's
still vacant?
New Orleans and is it the Pacers?
The Wizards.
Oh, the Wizards. The Wizards.
The
okay.
Wizards don't have a coach yet.
All right. So do you think Becky Hammon would be a good fit for maybe someone like New Orleans?
The Pelicans, I think so. If I was her, I would stay away from Washington.
Why is that? Why do we stay away from the Capital?
I don't know what's going on in Washington. Like, I keep hearing Russ is out of there. I keep hearing Bill is out of there. I don't.
Whoa! Wait, Russ is out of Washington. This is the first I've heard
I
of
keep
this.
hearing that he's on the trade block. Like I've heard him. I've heard him to a few destinations. I truly have. And even if he stays, they wasn't very good last year. I mean, they made a good run at the end, but
yeah.
But Bradley, if Beal, I know it's an if, and I know if a lot of things, but if Beal and Westbrook are healthy together, I mean that changes that 5 through that I would say the 4 through 7 seeding in the East. Not that that's a big deal. I'm just saying if they're healthy all year together, that makes a difference. But I'm with you. I could see Russ on the move. I'm with Ty. I think New Orleans, again, it goes back to the point of a young team. Yeah. I think New Orleans would be a great fit.
I think it will work.
Yes, it's in the tougher Western Conference. I mean, again, it's in the tougher Western Conference, but I think that would be again, she knows her stuff. I think young players, like I said, in this day and age of kids that getting blamed, I mean, millennials and even after that, they can't pay attention for too long. I think she'd be a perfect fit there. I think she could get it done.
I think it's just tough for New Orleans because it's like, bro, that West is they probably should. Geographically, I don't know if they should really be in the West. To be honest, being honest,
I agree with that, but disagree. I think New Orleans was a product of bad coaching. When are you not going to play your best 2 players together? Because I remember a couple of times in the fourth quarter that I see Zion on the bench when Brandon Ingram is cooking. Then he takes out Ingram to put in Zion, bro. Play your best players.
But my point is this:
I don't get it.
But what's their ceiling, though, Alex? That's my thing. Because even if New Orleans was good, I don't like if the Lakers come back and they're healthy. I don't see them beating them. I don't see them beating the Clippers. I don't see them beating the healthy Denver. What's another team? I don't see them beating. I don't think Phoenix is going. Phoenix isn't going nowhere. They're not beating Portland unless Dame leave. You're not beating Dallas. I think San Antonio.
Hey, Dallas is
the Warriors are coming back.
I don't know what you say about San Antonio.
I don't think they could beat San Antonio either.
Okay.
Look, Jason Kidd has his work cut out for him because Dallas is a dumpster fire.
Okay.
Right? You lose your GM.
I don't think they are though.
I'm just saying from the outside, it looks like a dumpster fire. Now, do I think Jason Kidd can coach? Absolutely. I think he was a little too young when he got the job in Jersey, and then with Giannis, I know allegedly they butted heads, and Giannis was young. Okay, that is Jason Kidd as a point guard, the way he played the game. I think he could translate that to coaching. But from the outside, Ty, Dallas looks like a dumpster fire.
Well, I didn't even mention Utah.
Right.
Don't worry, you don't have to.
I don't.
You don't have to.
I hear you, John, but
you say they have problems with Giannis, but doesn't everybody get along with Giannis? I think that speaks to Jason.
Who had problems with Giannis?
I think it was Jason Kidd.
I think that speaks to Jason Kidd's character because who has the problem?
No, Jason Kidd didn't have problems. Jason Kidd didn't have problems with Giannis. Giannis was upset. Giannis was upset when Jason Kidd got fired.
I just want to know how Jason Kidd keeps getting a job. That's what I want to know.
But there was a lot of there was also a lot of talk behind the scene that I saw, Ty, that he did like Jason Kidd, but they just did not agree system-wise on how to play him, how to use him. And I think towards the end, that's what got it. And Jason Kidd, again, when he was in New Jersey, I mean, look, when they those first 2 seasons, I mean, especially the second season, they were looking pretty good. Really good.
Yeah, but they said that Giannis went and talked to management, said he didn't want Kidd to leave. They said, okay, he won't go nowhere. And then they said 2 days later, they fired Jason Kidd. So that's why Giannis was upset.
Right.
That's what I was told. That's what I read. That's what I was. But
right.
All right, so let's just continue with this NBA conversation, but let's go back to the NBA Finals right now. Game 3 was last night. Ty, I didn't get your perspective on how you think Giannis Antetokounmpo played. He had back-to-back 40-point games. Do you think Giannis is enough for the Bucks to beat the Phoenix Suns in the finals?
This is my thing. I'm getting irritated with people blaming Giannis for everything. Giannis is the most consistent person on that team. Can he shoot free throws? No. But he's the most consistent person on that game. You've yet to get I think Middleton had 29 in game 1, so I was wrong saying he had 2 bad. But you've yet to get a 30-point game from Chris Middleton. Holiday, I don't even want to talk about Holiday right now. Yeah. Pat Connaughton. Holiday's playing defense. Pat Connaughton is playing better than Holiday right now. On the offensive side of the ball, in my opinion. But I don't think Giannis is enough to beat them. I think Phoenix, in my opinion, I think they have too much. They didn't play good last night for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
Devin Booker only scoring 10 points. That's something that we haven't seen in a long time.
That's terrible. Stop comparing that man to Kobe. I'm just saying.
Thank you, Ty. I appreciate it.
Booker hasn't been himself, and he went.
Did you didn't see game 2?
No, he had a good game 2, but everybody was on fire for game 2. Bro, do you remember game 2? Because Giannis went off game 2, and they still lost that game. Why? Because Booker, Paul, Mikal Bridges of all people, Crowder were hitting. This is a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, and he finally got a peg leg with Middleton and Holiday showing up last night. Look, if Holiday and Middleton are halfway decent, and Giannis is the bully in the paint, they can win this series.
Well, they ain't gonna win on the road. They ain't winning in Phoenix.
So I want to start with this question. How do you think the Phoenix Suns are going to respond for game 4? We'll start with you, Megan. How do you think the Suns are going to respond for game 4?
I really feel like they're going to, I hope they make some adjustments as far as Giannis. I don't think you're really going to contain him, but just by guarding him man on man, I think you have to double team him, maybe triple team him, draw the fouls, and that's what I think they're going to have to do. But they're also going to have to be more on top of their rebounding. They're getting out rebounded quite a bit, and especially in this past game. So definitely their rebounding, they're going to have to step up, and maybe that perimeter shooting. It didn't look great in the last game either.
Right. Michael Caratanudo, what is your take on what the Phoenix Suns have to accomplish to get a win on the road?
Well, like Megan just said, like I said earlier, you double team Giannis and you do it early. Get the ball out of his hands. I don't stop laying off him because he's not going to take it. He takes threes and he misses, and then after he misses, he just starts going like we're all saying, playing bully ball, going in the lane. Cut him off up top, just like they're stepping up high on the pick and rolls. Cut him off up top, double team him. Like I said, their rotation is better. They obviously need more from Booker. Mikal Bridges, that cat, Alex, you said of all people, but watching the Suns, especially the last 2 seasons, but even this whole season, he's always assigned to tough defensive guys. So he does have to try and run around with Middleton. He does have to try, and he gets switched off onto Giannis sometimes. And that height advantage, Giannis is going to crush him down low. I get that. But what the Suns, again, adjust a little bit, double team them. But the Suns proved, again, they were up by 3 at the end of 1. They were down by almost 20. They get it all the way back down to 6. Didn't look tired. Again, they don't have an answer off the bench for Cam Johnson. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. They leave him open at the 3-point line, which I'm like, thank you. Please do. He came in and scored, 8 points in his first, 3 shots. He had to hit 3 of 2 and another 3.
Right.
So it's cool. Leave Cam Johnson open. They don't have anyone off the bench, Milwaukee, to keep up with Cam Johnson. If the Suns are moving the ball like that, Ayton can't get into foul trouble like that. I mean, to Alex's point too, yes, if Giannis goes down low, he's going to get that. I just don't want somebody sneezed in a foul call. Like, if you're going to foul somebody, freaking tackle them at that point then. But they just need, I think, maybe go to, again, not that he needs a break, but give, because Milwaukee in the first 2 games, guys, they struggled with Cam Payne off the bench, his speed off the bench. So, again, maybe go to him a teeny bit earlier. I'm not saying Chris Paul needs to sit for long, but mix it up. Go with Payne and Paul. You know, you could go with Booker, and they've gone with Booker and Payne. It's just mix it up. But I'm saying involve those guys a little bit more and make Milwaukee chase you.
So let me ask you a question, Mike.
Right.
Why would you double Giannis when he's proven that he can't beat you by himself?
Because to Alex's point,
Mm-hmm.
when he gets down low, he's getting everything. And again, I'm not saying that not every foul call is a wrong call. There are times, I mean, I see the replay, I'm like, nobody got close to the ball. I mean, if believe me, if I could get away with that call and rip your arm off, I mean, I could play in the NBA too, I guess, if I was that tall, because like I could rip your arm off. So if I double team him to get the ball out of his hands, because I mean, I just think back to even, you know, you're saying Kobe, things with LeBron. I mean, the Warriors, I mean, didn't totally have to, but there were times when the Warriors in that series, you saw them like flash double LeBron right away to get the ball out of his hands and not let him get it back. Right. So, I mean, that's the tough part. I agree with Alex's point. Like, you need to, and Megan's point, you need to double and triple team him, but you can't let him get the ball back either. And to Megan's point, you got to box out better. I mean, Cam Johnson, much as I love him off, I mean, he's rebounded all year, but there was 2 plays where he's looking at the Milwaukee player trying to get it's like, how are you going to get a rebound looking away from the basket? I mean, hey, if you're that talented and you can, rock on, but you're not going to get a rebound looking away from the basket. So I just think if you double team him early and it doesn't work, Ty, then yeah, you can adjust off that. But if you get the ball out of his hands early, it's a whole different game, because then that puts more pressure, to Alex's point, on Drew Holiday, on Chris Middleton. And you're right, Connaughton is playing good offense. Defense, I mean, he's been there, but it just gets to that chess match, and I think Monty Williams can dictate it if you try. You know, you don't have to do it every series or every time down the court, but just do it a little bit. Show them stuff and then step out. Just get it in their head so maybe Giannis gets rid of the ball faster.
Right. John, I want to know your take on this subject really quick before we close out today. What do you think is the expectations for Game 4? Do you think the Phoenix Suns are going to be able to accomplish what everybody wants to do in the playoffs, which is get a win on the road?
I think it all goes those first 5-6 minutes. We saw it in Game 3 where Devin Booker was shooting 3 after 3 after 3. He's missing most of them, and that really set the tone for the Suns. That really set the tone for his night. He shot 3 after 3, missed. They started slow. I know they ended up by 3 at the first quarter, but he really started slow, and they go as he goes. And like I said, whenever he's really high, the team is energetic. They're going. Whenever he's really low and he's missing shots, team kind of goes as he goes. So I think it really goes in the first 5-6 minutes when Devin Booker's shooting threes, whether they go down or not. I think that dictates the pace of the entire game, because that's how the Suns go.
Right out there. Go ahead, Alex. I want to hear your take before we close out this subject.
All right. Phoenix needs to get back to efficient shooting. They shot too many threes, and they shot poorly from the three-point line. They're getting beat up in the paint, so you know what you do? Control the perimeter. Trade bucket for bucket. Try to get Giannis in foul trouble. If you get him in foul trouble, you take away their primary point producer. Novel thought. Now, he's going to eat at home. MVP gets MVP calls. I told you this. But they can counteract this by what Michael was saying. The second he's in the paint, double team him. Force him to make shots. If he's shooting threes and hitting from the perimeter, live with that. But make other people on the Milwaukee Bucks beat you. You need a big game from Holiday, because Middleton is inconsistent. That man is Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know what you're going to get. Take away the problem in Giannis. Let Middleton be Middleton, because if he's hot, he's hot. If he's not, he's not. Live with that. But take away the primary role players, because I don't see Giannis slowing down. John already pointed out much early before the series even started, Giannis is going to eat up Ayton. Ayton doesn't have anything for Giannis.
Yeah.
But if Giannis is going to be your primary point producer, go right at him. You saw how Cam Johnson dunked that ball on PJ Tucker. That's what he needs to be doing against Giannis. Because one of two things is going to happen. Either it's going to be a dunk and it's going to make ESPN highlight reel, or he's going to miss the dunk and it's going to be a foul on Giannis. You only get 6. All right. Giannis is still a man. You take away the problem whenever you have an issue. Now, flip it. For Milwaukee, you need that three-pointer back, bro, because Phoenix is quicker than you in transition, and they've been getting steals. And Crowder might have another 6 for 7 3-point shooting in the future. If you're Milwaukee, beat them up down low, make Lopez start with Giannis, so that way you have a big down low post presence. Have Drew Holiday switching off with Forbes, so they have to respect the 3-point shooting. And Middleton, please show up. You are actually the key factor to Giannis's X factor. Because I never want to hear Middleton being Batman ever again. And you can actually come back into this series because Monty Williams is still out coaching Budenholzer.
Yeah, ESPN need to drug test Kendrick Perkins.
Man,
I'm saying that
Middleton ain't even part of
Middleton's
not even part of the DC universe.
Nah, I said ESPN need to drug test Kendrick Perkins. Somebody send Big Perk my way.
Why?
What did Big Perk say?
What did he say this time?
He started this Batman. He started this Chris Middleton as Batman crap.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Drug test him.
Right.
I don't listen to a word he says.
So it's fair to say when Chris Middleton shows up, he's still going to be the Robin to Giannis's Batman.
Oh, he's going to be Robin, but if he shows up, this makes this series a lot more interesting.
Right. And we will see what happens. Tomorrow night is game 4, and then we will be back
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. So we will be back also Wednesday night to talk more NBA. But appreciate you guys being here. Thanks, Alex Fleming, Megan Price, Ty Ray, John Shear, and Michael Caratanudo. I am Ruth the Truth, and you guys enjoy the rest of your night.
All right.